Now we are going to move towards HyperLAN 2, that is high performance local area network 2. The features provided by this HyperLAN 2 are high throughput transmission, connection oriented, quality of service support, dynamic frequency selection, security support, power saving mechanism, which all those features we are going to discuss one by one, and later on we are going to discuss the two different modes on which this HyperLAN 2 works for the communication. So those two modes are nothing but centralized mode and direct mode. So the first feature, as I said, which is nothing but high throughput transmission. The high throughput transmission can be achieved by using OFDM, that is orthogonal frequency division multiplexing in the physical layer, and dynamic TDMA, that is time division multiple access in the medium access control protocol. The HyperLAN provides or offers a 54 Mbits per second at the physical layer, and which provides 35 Mbits per second data transfer rate at the network layer. The overheads introduced in the layer, such as medium access packet headers, remain constant over the wide range of user packets and data rates. The HyperLAN 2 uses the medium access control frames with a constant length of 2 microseconds. The another feature of this local area network is connection oriented. Prior to the data transmission, HyperLAN 2 networks establish a logical connection between a sender and receiver. Connection setup is used to negotiate the quality of service parameters. All connections are time division multiplexed over the air interface for the separation of uplink and downlink. In addition to that, the bidirectional point to point as well as unidirectional point to multi-point connections are offered by this HyperLAN 2. Additionally, the broadcast channel is also available to reach all mobile devices in the transmission range of access point. The third feature is quality of service support. With the help of connection, support of quality of service is much simpler. Each connection has its own set of QoS parameters such as bandwidth, delay, bit error rate, etc. A more simple scheme using priority only available to provide the quality of service. Then next feature is dynamic frequency selection. The HyperLAN 2 does not require frequency planning for the cellular networks or such as cellular networks or IEEE 802.11 standard. All the access points have the inbuilt support which automatically selects an appropriate frequency within their coverage area. The all access point listen to the neighboring access point as well as other radio sources into the environment. The best frequency is chosen depending on the current infrastructure level and usage of radio channels. Because of this dynamic frequency selection feature, the HyperLAN 2 has or is more famous than the HyperLAN 1. The security support is the another feature provided by this Hyperland 2, in which the authentication as well as encryption is supported into this local area network. Both mobile terminal and access point can communicate with each other only after the authentication process. This ensures the authorized access to the network as well as valid network operator. However, the additional functions such as directory services, key exchange schemes are needed or used in the support of authentication process. All user traffic can be encrypted using DES or triple DES or AES algorithms to protect against the security aspect during the transmission. The another feature is power saving nodes. The mobile stations or terminals can negotiate a certain wake-up pattern to save the power. Depending on sleep period, either short latency requirements or low power requirements can be supported. The Hyperland 2 network operate in two different modes as centralized mode and direct mode. This infrastructure, or you can say centralized mode, is nothing but the infrastructure based mode as shown in figure. All access points are connected to a core network and mobile terminals are associated with this access point. Even if two mobile terminals share the same cell, all data is transferred via this access point with each other. In this mandatory mode, the access point takes complete control of everything into the communication. Then another mode is that is direct mode. The optional ad hoc mode of Hyperland 2 is shown in the figure below. Data in this mode, the data can directly exchange between the mobile terminals if they can receive each other, but the network still has to be controlled. This can be done via an access point that contains a central controller element. Anyway, via a mobile terminal that contains the central functionality or central control functionality. There is no a real difference between access point and central controller. Besides the fact that the access points are always connected to an infrastructure, but here only the central controller functionality is needed. This is why the standard coined two different names IEEE 802.11 offers an ad hoc mode but not the central controller functionality for the quality of service support. This is nothing but about direct mode. The question can be asked for 7 mark or maybe for the features of Hyperland 2 for 4 marks. Whenever the question will be asked for 7 marks on Hyperland 2, it is expected that all the features need to be explained in detail along with these two modes, that is centralized mode and direct mode. And if question will be asked for only 4 marks, then only features can be explained for the university exam. Thank you.